Welcome everyone to day 5 of our Peace 30-day yoga journey. And today is about the idea of support. Support meaning there's ways to support our bodies when we're moving through poses. There's ways to support ourselves by our own belief system. There's ways to support others. And to have peace, we need support. I'd like to share a quote from you by Alan Cohen. Trust who and what you are, and the universe will support you in miraculous ways. So when we believe in ourselves, we attract like what we want in our life, and even if we don't get exactly what we want, because nothing is a guarantee, oftentimes we'll get something that we need. Like the Rolling Stones say, you don't always get what you want, but you get what you need. So let's start by closing our eyes so we can set up our support with our breath. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose, finding a nice, steady, easy, slow rhythm. Notice how your body moves inside when you focus on the breath and you bring the breath in enough, fully enough that it can truly support you. When we're kind of stressed out and only half breathing, we don't have the support that we need and that would help us more if we were breathing as if we were breathing more fully. So this is a time to always check in with your breath, to practice, to try and establish a habit of full, deep, diaphragmatic breathing. And just take your time and let your mind clear out. Clear out the clutter. So we often think thoughts without really having control of them. It's like they almost control us. And they're those random thoughts that keep repeating over and over again, usually about something kind of useless. So by clearing our mind, we're open and receptive to new thoughts, new ways of thinking, new ways of doing, new ways of supporting ourselves. And when we can support ourselves, we can support others. Not always in every situation, but it kind of begins with in ourselves first. So some of our biggest support systems are our hands and our feet, and we're going to work on that a little bit today. So cross your right ankle above your left knee, and take the fingers of your left hand and thread them between the toes on your right foot. See if you can snuggle the base of your fingers into the base of your toes. And what I like to do is grab the toes and put a little traction first, and then start to flex and extend. And get a feeling for the movement of your foot. And is it feeling supple and very pliable and movable, or is it stiff and tight? We have 26 bones in our feet. That's a lot of bones, 33 joints and over 100 tendons and ligaments. So that means our foot is meant to move. So just try twisting your foot, circling it, and you can get in there with the thumb of your right hand and massage all along the arches of your foot. So we have a medial arch, an interior arch. We have a lateral arch, exterior arch, and a transverse arch. And there, you can think of them as being defined by 3 points: the mount of the big toe, the mount of the pinky toe, and the center of the heel. So when we're equally balanced on those 3 points, we have a big support system. Whether we're standing or running or jumping, no matter what it is, we want to be able to feel the balance between the tripod of the foot, and we want our foot to be movable and flexible, but strong at the same time. So now spread your toes, slide the fingers out, place your foot on the ground, spread the toes as wide as you can, and then see if you can lift the big toe up independently of the other 4 toes and lift the other 4 toes up. And you can just go back and forth. So we're not rolling the foot to lift it up, but just slowly, a little bit at a time. Or not a little bit at a time, I don't know why I said that, but like the big toe, the other 4 toes, and then the little toes and the big toes, going in opposite directions. So let's balance that out by working the left foot. So slide the fingers of your right hand between your left toes. Snuggle into the base of the toes, base of the fingers. Maybe put a little traction on and start to flex and extend. And this should feel pretty movable. Like ideally, we want something that just feels like, yeah, that can move, that feels good. Then you can twist and circle and massage. So you probably already know, but there's said to be organs that different places in our feet respond to different organs or are aligned with different organs, so that by massaging our feet, we're really massaging our whole body energetically. So just don't be afraid to get in there. Now, I'm not saying dig in and, really, give it all you got. I'm just saying get in there firmly so that you can feel it and it feels good. And now spread the toes, place your foot down with the toes spread and lift the big toe up and lower it down, lift the other 4 toes up and just go back and forth. And if you can't do it right now, with a little practice, you most likely will be able to do it. But it's more like a mind-body connection that allows you to do this. All right, so now let's come onto our hands and knees. Tuck your toes and see if you can walk back and put some weight into your hips, into the toes. So we're stretching out the sole of the foot. And if that's too much for you, you can kind of come in and out of it. You can even rock around in circles. So you're putting pressure on and then taking it off. Reverse the circles. If this is too tender for you, then just back out. You can put less weight on your feet. And now sit back on your heels and see if you can lift your legs up to stretch out the top of your feet, the front of your ankles. Maybe find a little balance. And maybe you can't even get your knees off the ground, but you feel a sense of a little bit of stretch happening there. So, slowly, things can change, and some things might not change as much as things we might see in other people, but that's okay. It's more about the journey and the learning process. So coming into tabletop, think of gripping the mat with your fingers. So you're pulling the fingers in towards the center of the palm, and you might even get a little lift up underneath the middle knuckles. But what you really want to feel is like you're pulling energy from the earth up into your arms, into your shoulders, so that you're toning your upper body and you're getting your whole body involved in this. We're not just passively sinking down, but we're grabbing and finding a little internal lift. And then rock forward and back. You can even bring your hands in a little bit to work on the dorsiflexion of your wrists. And rotate the fingers towards your knees if possible, or out to the side if it's not possible. But you want an outward rotation for this. And start to rock forward and back again and circle. Just nice, easy movements. And then maybe stretch back to really stretch out the arms and even into the fingers if you can just lift the palm up. You just do the best you can. Everyone's different. And now make fists with your hands so that the knuckles are glued together. This is apart, this is glued together. Place the top of your hands down. So from the knuckles here to the wrist, we want that on the floor. And when you bend your elbows, there is really no stretch, but when you straighten your elbows and even push into the floor, you can get a pretty nice stretch going there. So just go back and forth, nice and slowly at your own pace. Another way to do this is to have your palms facing up, back of the hands down, and rock forward and back. Another thing you can do to strengthen the hands is to come up on your finger pads. So that's this part here, not the fingernail, but the pads just below that. Grip So that again, you have these knuckles lifting up, not flattening. So we're not trying to do this. We're trying to do a little lift and then reach forward and back. Building some strength and awareness in the hands and the fingers. And then place your hands down, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back for a downward facing dog. So grip with the hands, hug in. You want action here. You want to feel that you're working, but you don't want to feel like you're like gripping for dear life or anything. So there's a balance here you want to find of a soft energy and a really like energizing energy. And inhale forward to plank. Adjust your feet if you need to, and exhale back to down dog. Inhale forward to plank. Lower your knees down. Stretch back to child's pose with your toes tucked. Inhale forward to cat. Lift up and back, downward facing dog. So inhale forward to plank. Exhale, down dog. You can bend your knees as you go back or keep your legs straight. Inhale forward to plank again. Lower your knees, stretch back into child's pose. Inhale forward to cat. Exhale, down dog. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale, child's pose. A couple more times. Inhale to cat. Exhale to down dog. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale to child's pose. So hopefully, if you're really using your hands, finding that nice grip, you won't be getting too tired. If we don't engage our hands, then they kind of tend to get more sore. They tend to feel tired and maybe even a little painful sometimes. I'll come forward into plank, and we're going to hold plank here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend your elbows, slowly lower down. Bring your forearms forward, hands forward. Press into your toes and lift your chest up with your inhale. And your exhale, just see if you can feel a little grounded. Really feeling the ground, the support of the ground. Think of pressing down, not just think of and do it. Press down through your hands, hug in through your elbows. Tuck your toes. You can keep your knees down or lift them up, coming into forearm plank. So if we have a strong core, that's going to support us in every imaginable way. Makes things easier to do, safer to do. And I've even read that strong muscles can even help your digestive system. So if you press that down into your hands and hug your elbows in a little, squeeze your legs in, your whole body is engaging, and it might even feel a little bit easier to do this plank pose. So we'll hold for another 10 seconds. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, halfway there, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Lower down. Slide your hands back and curl up into your cobra. So push into your feet, top of the feet. You can even try and flex your toes into the earth, and then think of pulling the shoulders back. And you can play with isometrically pushing your hands forward. Notice what that does, and pulling them back. Notice what that does. Something slightly different in both cases, but can be very effective and just teach you a little bit more about your body and how it works and how to stimulate different places in your body. Good. Lower down, tuck your toes, press back into down dog. So we're going to do a little more core work by doing some twists in plank. So come on forward to plank, and then shift your weight into your left hand, twist to the right, bringing your right arm up, And bring your right hand down, shift your weight into your right hand, and twist to the left. And just go back and forth, twisting to one side and then the other side. And again, it really helps here to have a little tone in your hands, tone in your legs, so that you can move slowly and in control. And we'll do one more time each side. Nice. Come back into plank. Bend your knees, point your toes, stretch back into child's pose. Good. Inhale forward back into tabletop. So we're going to play with doing some little bit of balancing on our hands and knees and seeing if we can bring our leg into like a tree pose position. So first is let's do some cat-cows. So inhale, chest forward, exhale, round. And just go back and forth at your own pace. Opening up to the breath, feeling the support of the breath. Now come back to neutral. Bring your left foot out to the left a little bit. Stretch your right leg behind you and reach your right arm up and over your head. Lift your ribs up toward the sky. And then lower the ribs, lift the arm and leg up. Lower down again. Now see if you can pick your right knee up, squeeze it in, and place your foot on your inner thigh or kind of even resting on the back of your calf just below your knee. And find a nice lift here. And then reach up and come back in. And reach up and come on back in. Lower your hand down, coming back into tabletop. Just kind of swirl your hips from side to side. Let's try the same thing other side. So bring your right foot out to the right a little bit, right hand out to the right. Reach your left toes back, reach your left arm overhead. And lift your arm and leg up. And lower down, pick your knee up. Squeeze your heel towards your hip. Lower your foot to your inner thigh, just above your knee or resting it on your calf. And inhale back up again. Exhale. Hug it in and reach. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hug in and reach. And lower your hand down. Coming back into your tabletop and back to downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. So you're going to forward fold at the back of your mat. Lift the big toes up and hook your peace finger and your middle finger underneath the base of the big toe. Press into the tripod of your foot and lift your toes up. Then bring your toes inward, lower them down, keeping space between your toes. Now see if you can, how far forward you can walk into your down dog, keeping your heels down. It might be a little, just a few steps with your hands. It might be several. Grip with the hands, send your hips back. And lift up onto your toes, walk your feet forward to your hands. Come up onto your finger pads and lift your heels up, squeezing your ankles in towards each other. And lower the heels down, pick the front of the feet up. Squeeze, like trying to reach your toes towards your shins. Keep the toes spreading as you lower down, lift the heels up. And lower the heels down, lift the front of the feet up, spreading the toes. Lower the feet down and become aware of the tripod of your foot. See if you can weight evenly into the big toe mound, pinky toe mound, center of the heel, and press into the earth. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Just pause for a moment. You can let your body sway a little bit. And release your arms down by your sides. Lift and spread all your toes and really press into the tripod of your foot. Feel that support underneath you. You can press into it, press into the earth, and it helps you to kind of rebound upward. So there's a lift toward the sky. Now we're going to play with tree pose. And you know, a tree has like huge support of the earth, of its roots, of all of the trees and nature around it. So that's a great energy to tap into. So we played with tree pose on another day, I can't remember which one, but spread the toes nice and wide. Find the tripod of your foot. So how is your foot weighted? You don't want to roll to the outside or the inside or lean forward too much. I think it's very few people that lean back too much. So now, as you press into your right foot, supporting your body with all the muscles engaging. So engaging your hamstrings, your quads, your calves. Start to pull your left knee up and squeeze your knee in towards your chest. You can either grab your foot or try placing your foot on your inner thigh. And if your foot is below your knee, that's fine. And then just imagine like that your foot is sprouting roots and they're digging into the ground, finding nourishment and support. And your upper body is expansive like a tree, like the branches of a tree. And think of what a tree supports. It supports birds, squirrels, bears. I mean, you know, it bears fruit. For people, trees are amazing. They're beautiful. So just imagine taking that tree energy in and then release and let it go. Just kind of shake out your body. You know, just kind of like, you can even kind of shake your hands off like you're getting rid of any negativity, any like thing that doesn't really serve you now. And press into the earth again. We're going to do the same thing with the left leg supporting us. So find that tripod of the foot, find your internal lift and length, and then as you inhale, reach your arms up, pull your right knee up, squeeze it in nice and tight, externally rotate your foot and place your foot on your inner thigh. Spread out like your arms are branches, your fingers are branches. Feel that energy of the tree, the beauty of the tree. The colors, you can see the colors behind me. Although a lot of the leaves are gone now, but just breathe. Feel like you're lifting up and getting a little taller and broader on the inhale. On the exhale, you're rooting into the earth a little bit more. Then slowly release, lower down, kind of roll out the shoulders. And now we're going to go from tree to warrior 3 to standing splits. So you can start in the middle of your mat anywhere you want. But on your inhale, reach your right leg up as you pull your arms up, lift up tall. Externally rotate your hip and place your foot on your inner thigh. And just stay here feeling the support in your whole body. And then from here, release your arms back as you reach your leg back, coming into warrior 3. Try to lift up through the inner thigh, reach out through the fingers, forward through the chest, back through your foot. Breathe here, like you're riding on your breath. And then lower your hands down as you float your left leg up, standing splits. And you could try, if you want, taking one hand to your ankle, maybe taking the other hand to your ankle. And lower your hands down. Lower your left leg down. Spread the toes, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, sweep the arms up as you sweep the right leg up. Externally rotate your hip, place your foot on your inner thigh. Reach up, breathe, ground, expand. And then release your foot behind you as you reach your arms back. Reach out through your toes, forward through your heart, open through your chest. Try and reach the inner thigh of that top leg up. That's kind of challenging, but it helps you to have more support. And lower your hands down, float your leg up. Maybe if you want to play with it, see if you can hold maybe one hand to your ankle, maybe 2. And lower your hands down, lower your foot down, and come on into a squat. And we'll just hang out here for a couple of breaths, letting your whole back expand. Maybe a little rocking forward and back. And lower your hips down. Let's come onto our backs. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Straighten your left leg on the floor and your right leg up in the air, and interlace your fingers on the back of your right thigh. Just see how close you can bring your thigh to your chest. And then just flex and point your foot. And now, keeping the knee as still as possible, just circle the ankle. It's really interesting to look at all the movement in your ankle and your foot. So many different bones and ligaments and tendons. And now, just reach your hands up towards your foot. Bring your hands across the sole of your foot and down your leg. So we're just giving our leg a little self-massage. And float your right leg down. Bring the left leg up. Interlace your fingers behind your leg. Pull your leg towards your chest and start to flex and point. And keeping your knees still, just circle the ankle, the foot. So you're not like using the hip at all, just moving from the foot and reverse the direction. And bring both feet up. Either hold on to your feet, your ankle, or even the back of your legs. Bend your knees so they're like touching your ribs. Push up through the tripod of your foot toward the sky. Let your knees lower down as much as they can we're not trying to get into this type of scenario. So try to keep your head down, your shoulders down. And if they won't stay down, you bring your hands lower. And then just some gentle rocking back and forth. And hug your knees into your chest. And stretch out for a short savasana. Just let everything relax. Feel the support of the earth underneath your whole back, your whole body. And let yourself sink into that support. So you're truly letting go. Feel your breath moving in and out smoothly through your nose. And as always, you're welcome to stay in your savasana longer, or you're welcome to get ready to come out. So maybe you stretch your fingers over your head, fingers on the floor, and point your toes away from your upper body. And then maybe wiggle the fingers and the toes. And you can bend your knees, roll all the way up to seated. Thank you for joining me with this 30-day yoga journey, focusing on peace, bringing peace inside, and just expanding peace like all around. Like there's plenty of peace. We could never run out of peace. But it starts with an idea, it starts with a practice, and then it just is part of your life, hopefully. So I would love it if you leave a comment, and see you again tomorrow for day 6. Bye.